That was his miracle and sign. So subhanAllah, Talut was accepted at that point as a true leader of Bani Israel. So Talut began to strategize. Okay, it's time for me to get my army together because we got to roll on those dudes who've been killing our people for years. Now it's time to get some payback. So Talut alayhi salam actually got an army. And each tribe of Bani Israel, there were 12 tribes, each tribe sent men to fight in this great battle with his army of Talut alayhi salam. And when he got his army, guess how many people he had? 80,000 people. 80,000 men came out to be part of Talut's great army. And Talut told all of them, he addressed the army, if there's a man amongst you who has married a woman and you have not been with her, you cannot be in his army. Go home. If there's a man amongst you who has built a house for his family and you haven't finished the roof, you mean you built a house for your wife, but you haven't finished it for her, you can't be in his army. Go back home. I can't use you. Then he said, if there's a man amongst you who has livestock, cows, sheep, goats, that you're waiting for them to give birth, you can't be in his army. Why did he say that? He didn't want any man in his army who was thinking about what? Home. Thinking about his wife, the animals. Okay, the animal is pregnant. She won't give birth. Because back in that time, that's a economy based on agriculture. Animals meant a lot of money. Land means a lot of money. So I don't need anybody that's going to be thinking about doing your things. This is an army. We're going out for the sake of Allah. So if your mind is not right, I don't need you here. SubhanAllah. He left out with 80,000 soldiers. 80,000 marching to do the great battle, to get payback. And on the way, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala came, Allah blessed him to come upon the river Jordan. Allah speaks in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 248, 249, in that area. And Allah said in the Quran that Talut told his army, we come into a river. Allah is going to test you by this river. Whoever drinks from this river, whoever gets one handful in the fight, because at that time, when two armies met, usually the commander of the army and commander of the other army would have a one-on-one duel before the main fight. So Jalut said, is there anyone here who would challenge me? And he challenged Talut to a battle. Jalut and Talut would meet man on man in the middle of the battlefield before the huge battle would start. So Jalut challenged Talut to a man-on-man battle. Talut got scared. He said, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. The leader, maybe he's the leader of the army, right? How could you let the men under your care see you falter? But he got afraid. He was afraid. He not won the battle, Jalut. And in the second half of khutbah, I'll let you know what happened, inshaAllah ta'ala. Walhamdulillah rabbil alamin. So here's the scene. Jalut challenged Talut to a man-on-man battle. And Talut was afraid. He wouldn't do it. He capitulated. And then he turned to his men. If there is any man here who will fight Jalut, anyone, nobody. I give any man here who fights Jalut my daughter. Because at the time, Talut was known to have a very beautiful daughter. SubhanAllah. I give you my daughter to any man who would do it. And then I share my power with you. You'll share my kingdom if you fight Jalut. Nobody. Except for one man. I'll do it. Oh, David. You okay? You okay, bro? Is there a man among us who will fight Jalut? I will do it. David, I'll do it. Dawood alayhi salam. No, you okay. You okay, brother. It's all right. Just calm down. Is there any man here? I'll do it. The Mufassirin said Dawood at this time was somewhere between 14 to 16 years of age. SubhanAllah. So Talut said, okay. So they proceeded, some narrations say they proceeded to give Dawood alayhi salam a suit of armor. But the armor, he was so small, he was such a small man, the armor fell off of him. It couldn't fit it. He was a young man. He didn't need it. So the only thing he had was a slingshot and 3 smooth stones. And he stood up against Jalut. And some Mufassirin said, I will fight you in the name of Allah. I will fight you with the help of Allah. And here comes Jalut. How you going to fight me, little man? Who are you? There's no man among you. You're sending a little boy here to fight me? No man among you? Okay. Allahu Akbar. Boom. Over. One shot. Over. Got him. SubhanAllah. Now at this time, you know, Talut had an army of about 80,000 men. Who was left at this point was just over 300 men at this point. He had 80,000. Rest of it either didn't pass the test or they got afraid and ran away. It was only 314 left. 310, 314 left. The same amount of men at the Battle of Badr was there. So Talut left with 80,000. Now he's only left with 300. But when Dawood alayhi salam killed Jalut and cut his head off, mashallah, the brothers got rallied, yeah, Allahu Akbar, and they started running and they killed the whole army. Allah gave them the victory. And Talut, true to his word, when he died, when Prophet Shamwil alayhi salam died, Dawood alayhi salam assumed the kingship and he became a Nabi. Dawood alayhi salam became the Nabi. At that time, he was the first prophet of Allah who Allah Ta'ala has blessed to be a king and a Nabi at the same time. Now, what do we see from this story, brothers and sisters? We see a young man who stood up to do what is right. And he was not fearful to stand in the way of Allah Ta'ala. That's what all of you have to do. You're the next generation, the young people. Sooner or later, you will be called upon to stand up for what is right. And you may have to lead the elders like me. As elders, we should be able to sit back and let you take the helm. Let you take your rightful place. Dawood alayhi salam was a young man, but he led the whole army. And he became a hero overnight. So what will happen, brothers and sisters, when you stand up to your Jalut? What is your Jalut? What is that one thing in your life that makes you so fearful or afraid? If you stand up to your Jalut, whatever it may be a class, it may be a person, whatever it may be, whatever that one thing, a person in your life that's causing you to be less than your best, you have to do what Dawood alayhi salam did. He depended on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he went forward for the sake of Allah ta'ala and fought him in his cause. And when you stand up in the way of Allah ta'ala, Allah will give you victory upon victory. He will help you in your time of need. So while you're studying here in the AUC, keep in mind that you are the next generation. You are the next leaders that will lead this ummah. What is going to be your place? What are you going to do? Are you going to capitulate like Talut did in the face of his whole army? Are you going to stand up like Dawood alayhi salatu salam and was not afraid to stand up against evil? There will come a time in your life, brothers and sisters, where you'll be faced with a serious situation in your life. People, you're going to challenge you. You will be challenged on this campus. If you haven't already been, you will be. You'll be challenged by people out here who want to call you to do evil. Drink, smoke, party, all this kind of stuff. But you have to be like a tree in a storm. They're going to stand rooted and strong like Dawood alayhi salam did. He was a young man. You don't have to be my age to conquer the world or be influential in the world. One man would do, and it doesn't matter the age. Look at Ali ibn Abi Talib. May Allah be pleased with him. Did he not sacrifice his life for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? He was under 12 years old, and he sacrificed his life to save Rasulullah alaihi wasallam. Look at Asma bint Abi Bakr. May Allah be pleased with her. Did she not take food to her father Abu Bakr and Rasulullah alaihi wasallam when they were trying to escape and go to Medina? She risked her life. A young woman risked her life, took them food and everything. She knew she could have been killed, but she did it to protect her father and protect the messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. History is replete with so many stories of young people just like you who stood up against all odds, who stood up. What is going to happen when you face your Jalut? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make you strong. May Allah give you the wisdom to stand against that which you fear. And anything that causes you to fear something other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is tampering with you being a Muslim. A Muslim is one who surrenders him or herself, surrenders their will, their desires to what Allah Ta'ala is pleased with. That's what it means to be a Muslim. You want to go to that party tonight, but you say, I'm not going, because I know Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala doesn't like that type of environment. That's what a Muslim is. I'm not going to smoke marijuana anymore or start, because I know it's not lawful in my deen, even though I like the way it smells, I like the way it makes me feel, got the munchies and all that. But you put that down, say, I'm not doing that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not pleased. That's what a Muslim is. You see that sister walking across the quad? Oh my God, what? It's summertime? Ya Allah, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. I'm not looking at that sister because I know the first look is permissible, the second look is what? Third look is what? You know the hadith. Subhanallah. This is a fitna. Sister's the same way. You see that brother walking across? Ya Allah. Ya Allah. Ya Allah. That's what a Muslim is. When you put what you like, what you love, what you want to do down to do what's pleasing to Allah, that's what it means to be a Muslim. It's not a gang, it's not a group, it's not a party you belong to. This is it, man. So when you become a Muslim, you're agreeing to put your feelings, your desires aside. You become an abd, a slave. This is real. Abd. You agreeing to be a slave to the one Lord. That's what you're doing as a Muslim. Now, we all gonna make mistakes. We all gonna make problems. I know that. I've been on these college campuses myself. I know the fitna that could happen down in here. But stand strong like Dawood alayhi salam. And if you do, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you provisions. He will give you wealth. He will give you blessings. He will give you power, just like he did Dawood alayhi salam. Because Dawood stood strong in front of Jalut, Allah made him king. Allah made him be a Nabi. Allah gave him wealth and gold and everything. So Allah would increase you in risk when you stand for His pleasure. And what is risk? Risk is everything outside of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Risk could be money. It could be children. It could be intelligence. All that's considered risk. So when you obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, your risk will be increased. You tired of being broke and not going to the cafeteria to get something to eat or whatever, you have no money? Fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and see your risk increase. Fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you see the risk increase. You see your grades get better when you fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wallahi. You fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and see how your grades will get better. Why? Because when you fear Allah ta'ala, you got time to hang out. You got no time to be over here with these other people doing haram. So I'm not doing that. I'm going to my room and I'm going to study because I know Allah. Because ibadah, everything a Muslim does for the sake of Allah ta'ala becomes ibadah. Going to class becomes ibadah. Coming here is a form of ibadah. Walk into your class, whatever becomes ibadah. If you say Bismillah, if your niyyah is to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, everything you do becomes ibadah. Everything. For the Muslim, for the sincere believer, even putting your clothes becomes ibadah. Because you putting on Bismillah, Bismillah. Go to the bathroom, Bismillah. Oh Allah, please forgive me. Watch over me. Let me do well in this test. Oh Allah, go to school for your sake to earn this knowledge so I can be a better Muslim and be leaders in society. If that's your intent, Allah will increase you in your risk. Allah will bless you. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless all of you here. You are the new leaders. You are the future leaders. Just like Dawood alayhi salam. He didn't know he was going to be hoisted to that level. He didn't know that. He became a sensation overnight, but he stood for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah blessed him with risk, prophethood, kingship, and everything. What would Allah do for you when you stand up for Him? And when you leave here today, I want you to think about the one Jalut in your life. There is something inside of you or someone out here or something in your life that's tampering with you being a Muslim that makes you afraid, scared, fearful. Battle that Jalut. Some of us, that Jalut could be your own nafs. Right or wrong. Stand for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah will give you increase in His rizq, and Allah will give you mercy, inshaAllah.